I'm Giancarlo Nardini at Clublago Restaurant. So we're generation number 3. It was Grandpa Gus Lazzarini, then our father Francesco Nardini, and now my brother Guido Nardini. My father Francesco Nardini was an accountant by trade. He studied at the University of Pisa, and when he came to the States, he worked as an accountant for many years. And then at some point, he lost his job. It was sort of a tough time for him and for my mother. We're talking 1979, 1980. And my dad started working with my grandpa here at the Lago. And slowly but surely, Grandpa decided it was time to retire, and my dad bought the Lago from him. And worked here by himself until my brother and I decided to get in on this, and that would be 1997. He was an excellent cook, but he had never worked in a restaurant before, and so he updated all the bookkeeping and stuff, because my grandpa was glad hander, but he wasn't an accountant. My father cleaned that up. But yeah, he learned how to run a restaurant. He learned how to deal with people, how to deal with employees, how to deal with the kitchen. Guido and I, my brother's name is Guido, we worked here off and on as children, washed dishes and hosted, and then in college I went to school on the south side, so it was easy for me on weekends to work here, and I worked Friday nights and Saturday days waiting tables. When Guido decided that he was going to work with my dad, with Francesco, it didn't take me long to think that, nah, it can't just be him. And so then I started working with him also. I mean, the two of us have been in and out of this space for most of our lives. I don't know if we ever really saw ourselves necessarily as taking over. And then at some point we did, and worked with our father together, which was challenging. And then bought from him, just like my father bought from my grandfather. Working with Dad, he was not a communicator. He would do stuff like this. This goes here. And if we would say, well, Dad, why does it go there? He'd say, then put it anywhere you want to. If you asked a question, you were challenging him and you were threatening him. Then put it anywhere you want. And he'd just throw shit and walk away. Like, all right, well, that's how we learned just any kind of, all the bookkeeping, all the whatever. It's like, well, why do you do this? I don't care. It's just, no, tell me, because if you tell me why, then it'll make more sense to me. But it was, instead, that was a threat. It was a threat to him. I think that my father he had been sort of coasting for a bit, hoping that Guido and I would make a decision to come into the restaurant. So I think that he stayed running the restaurant and didn't sell because he wanted his boys to take over. I'm sure that played into our decision ultimately to do that, to start working here full time. I think my father was very happy about it. He wasn't one who demonstrated his happiness very easily. Again, he wasn't a great communicator. But I think he was happy. I think he was proud that we were doing it also. He never said that, but I think he was. And yeah, we're third generation. I mean, there aren't a lot of restaurants in Chicago that are older than us. They say that working with family is difficult, and it is. It is. It can be. It certainly can be challenging. Part of what goes on in your head, I think, or certainly went on in my head and my brother's head, is that you don't want to sort of mess up the streak. I am proud of us being third generation because that just doesn't happen much. They often say that the third generation is the one that fucks everything up, so that we would then be the guys who came in and destroyed an institution. Now that hasn't happened yet. There's still time, but that was my hesitation. I know I had never run a restaurant before. That was also an element of it, but yeah, don't screw it up kept going through my head. Those weeks are tough, man. I mean, you're here all the time, and you don't get to see your family because you're here all the time. And that's what my dad did for 20 years. I tip my hat to that, man. That ain't easy. I wonder if I ever said that to him, and I probably should have. But he never said he was proud of me, so I guess we're just sort of even on that one. My dad died in 2010. I guess I probably should have said something to him. All right.